My name is Jose Carlos Macias. I work as an international aquaculture consultant coming from Spain, for the south of Spain. We have been working in the recent years for the GFCN FAO office in Rome, and working in a different Mediterranean country in the last few years. This presentation have been prepared with my colleague Pablo Avila, Amit Sabaya from Israel, and myself. And today we will talk about how we passed from the national strategy on the ground impact. So, this presentation focuses on the recurring global challenge in aquaculture policy. Normally, the gap between a strong national strategy and real production on the water. We especially address how ASA, aquaculture, zone for allowed zone for aquaculture, can act as the missing operational layer that translate policy ambition into climate resilient blue food production. Because aquaculture vulnerability and spatial conflict, aquaculture is under pressure, because in aquaculture activity is increasingly exposed to climate stressors such as higher temperature, storm, oxygen variability, whilst simultaneously facing growing competition for marine space, not only for marine space but also for all kinds of space. This pressure interacted climate vulnerability increase operational risks, while spatial conflict delay permit and rise cost, reinforcing each other and reduce sector resilience. So, national strategy versus operational reality. The problem is not the strategy. The problem is the execution of the strategy, of the measure, or the planning. In many countries, national aquaculture strategy are technically sound and politically endorsed. However, implementation remains weak. The plan exists, but farms do not materialize due to the permitting delays, fragmented governments, and uncertainty, which ultimately discourage private investment. So the implementation gap, or the global lessons, globally, less than 40% of designated ASA are operational. In fact, the main barriers are the legal misalignment, administrative complexity and bureaucracy, and poor coordination between authorities. Too often, ASA are treated as a spatial maps rather than integrate regulatory, environmental and investment system. In this process, why ASA are foundational for blue food security? Because ASA is a tool, is a strategic infrastructure. ASA is not just a planning tool. The ASA are a strategic infrastructure. When properly implemented ASA, it reduces spatial conflict, the risk private investment, enable climate adapted site selection, and transform the policy objectives into actual aquaculture production capacity. So, from the policy to the field implementation, the ASA pathway connects national policy to the farm level reality. It integrates spatial planning, environmental data, licensing process, and operational requirement into the coherent process that allows farm to move from approval to production in predictable timeframes. In this process, the regulatory integration is very important, because it's the way to turning ASA into the legally operable zones. Regulatory integration is critical. In the Mediterranean country, average license takes around 36 to 48 months. but in well-designated ASA can reduce this to 12, 18 months. This is a clear concession, predefined condition, and aligned authorities transform ASA into investable zones and significantly accelerate deployment. But the public domain occupation and the cost, the concession cost is important factor of viability. The cost of occupation, also marine space or public or inland space, directly affect to the project viability. Concession fees, duration, and financial condition must be aligned with the biological cycles and investment horizons. Poorly designed cost structure can undermine otherwise sound ASA. International case study in different governance culture and different country in the Mediterranean area show that international experience show that ASA works across very different governance contexts when aligned with permitting system. From large-scale production, for example in Turkey, to conflict reduction in the Adriatic also, and climate change in the Gulf country like Oman, for example, success depends less on geographic and more on operational coherence. This is an example that's how the ASA can be translated to the different execution way to apply different strategy. And now my colleague Amit Savaya continue with the Israel case study.